Hey friend, how's it going? I hope you're having a good day. So today we're going to go ahead and talk about how to get over a creativity block as a street photographer. So I'm going to go ahead and bring up some points and that I wrote down earlier, but just so that you guys know, I don't write scripts for any of my videos, mainly because I don't want to sound like a robot and I'm just not good at reading scripts. And I feel more like I'm actually talking to a friend whenever I talk like this. So for the first point, it is play a game. So you want to play a game as far as going after specific shots. So some stuff that I wrote down is pictures of people sitting down, like a picture like this. So, you'll go around the whole city or downtown or whatever type of city you're at, and you'll only specifically take pictures of people sitting down. So all of these points are put together so that you get out of routine, because that is one of the ways that we end up blocking ourselves whenever we have a certain niche that we go after. If you end up taking so many shots of that niche, eventually you'll like burn yourself out, and then you basically need a change to refresh yourself so that you're able to get back onto your regular street photography, or find something else that you might like that you didn't even think about earlier. But that is the first point. Take pictures of people sitting down, and then also pictures of specific shadows. So like, let's say you are going through downtown, and like, let's say it's like 5 in the afternoon and everything, and like shadows are like super heavy, 5, 6 in the afternoon, shadows are super heavy. So then just start taking pictures of shadows specifically, and then just go around the city and find interesting shadows that you find really interesting. Or you can actually even find moving subjects and only specifically take a picture of the shadow, which you would eventually find like super interesting. And there's just so much you can do with it whenever it comes to shadows. So play with shadows. And then the next one is take pictures of moving subjects. And by moving subjects, I don't mean like take pictures of somebody just walking by. I mean like actual moving subjects, like either a motorcycle or a bike are like the easiest things to get into. So whenever you see a bike go through, just set up your shutter speed to like 1/300, 1/250, and you should be able to capture them easily. So you'll be able to capture a moving subject. And there are so many effects that you can go into. There's a million YouTube videos explaining effects that you can get into whenever it comes to capturing moving subjects, especially at night. But that is another one of the points. Okay, so that was one for play a game. On the second one right here is it's called take photos on challenging conditions. So whenever it comes to challenging conditions, what I mean is like midday harsh light, rainy weather, or late night low light conditions. So you want to challenge yourself. You want to get out of your comfort zone whenever it comes to street photography. Let's say you go out at a specific time every single time. Like most people usually go out in the morning, and that's usually what I do, and or go out after the harsh mid sunlight is out, and then there's like heavy shadows in the afternoon and everything. Then that's like really, really nice light. Like for example, orange hour, golden hour. Golden hour that people like to capture. That is one of the things that people go towards a lot, because it's such beautiful light, and it's not harsh. But if you get out of that condition and you just take, for example, whenever I went to Germany, I was in Hamburg, and after doing 2 12-hour shifts of street photography, so like a 12-hour shift on one day and then a 12-hour shift on another day, and then on the third day I was feeling really burnt out. So I was like, oh, well, what am I going to take pictures of now? So what I ended up doing is that I would go over to the downtown area, or just walk around and everything during the middle of the day after I had lunch, and I would take pictures of just shadows. Like anything that I could see that is like a very dark shadow compared to like the heavy sunlight, it makes the shadows like super dark. And that's what I was taking pictures of to like refresh myself, to get back to the type of street photography that I like to do. So that is point number 2. So it is take photos on challenging conditions. So be sure to do that. For the third one, it is called take photos of a specific local focal length all day, even on zoom lenses. So personally, I take pictures with all prime lenses. I don't do any zoom lenses, and mainly because I've done it from the very beginning and I'm just used to it. So it makes me think much more about my shot whenever I'm taking pictures. I'm able to, if I need to get closer to something, I literally have to get close to it. I can't use a zoom. I feel like a zoom makes you much more lazy. Yes, it's very versatile. It's versatile, especially if you're using it for videography and stuff like that. But whenever it comes to photography, I personally stick to prime lenses. And even if you don't, even if you have a zoom lens, just like get like a 35 millimeter focal length and just stick to it the whole time. Just use that as your normal focal length, and just only take pictures in that focal length, and you'll be able to like frame things differently, and you'll really think about your shot. And then after that, it's kind of like a refresher. So if you actually use zoom lenses, you can actually just take pictures like this, and it'll like refresh you and give you that creativity boost that you're looking for. On number 4, put the camera away. So let me explain. So for the put the camera away, it is mainly about the gear that you use. So most of us, whenever we take pictures, we use cameras that have like lenses that you can take off and everything, and you can just grab a lens and get this lens and get that lens, carry it in your backpack and everything. But sometimes just the process of having a camera and everything and going out there and taking pictures and doing the same thing over and over again can get like a little repetitive, and you just like start burning out. So instead, just leave your camera at home and just use your iPhone or an actual Android phone that you have. I don't like Androids, but like a Pixel. They say Pixels take really good pictures, so try getting a Pixel or something. But like, take pictures just with your phone, and you'll see that there's a whole bunch of settings on there that are actually pretty cool, like black and white and everything. And you can just go out there and take pictures specifically with your phone. And it's kind of like a refresher, because you're not carrying all this gear. You're just walking around with your phone and taking pictures with your phone only. And it's just such a refresher. Like, for example, whenever you go to like a place like over here in America, we have shopping malls. Whenever you go to a shopping mall, if you have like a camera, a big setup and everything, taking street photography inside of the mall, most of the time, whenever people see you there, they'll go ahead and say, hey, get out of here. You can't be in here. You can't take pictures in here with your normal, camera. So what you do is that you take out your phone and you take pictures with your phone. You start doing street photography, but with your phone. And whenever people look at you, or whenever the security people look at you, they're like, oh, okay, well, he's just taking pictures with the phone. It's nothing professional. But in reality, you're practicing your craft, just taking pictures with your phone. And it's just like a way to refresh yourself. Like, you don't have to, like, for example, here in Texas is like extremely hot right now. It's like 106 degrees Fahrenheit. I don't know what that is in Celsius, but that's like super hot. So this will be a good time to go to a shopping mall and then just take pictures with your phone and just like, just practice. So you don't have to, it's all about taking pictures until you find your style. And that's another whole topic. But what I'm saying is that, just it's a refresher to go ahead and leave your camera gear home and then just take a picture with your iPhone or, Android. And for the 5th one, it's called take a small weekend trip. Okay, so this is another one of those things that I wanted to talk about whenever it comes to a refresher, kind of like helping you rejuvenate and get your creativity going. Is a good way is to actually go out somewhere. It doesn't even have to be like, out of country or out of state or whatever. Over here in the States, you can literally just go to the next city. Like, for example, it's a different story here, because there are people in Europe that can go from, France to Dusseldorf in like 4 hours. But here, you do the same trip from here to Austin in about the same time. A little less, but about the same time. But either way, you can go to another city and do street photography there. Some more that my biggest thing to tell you is go somewhere where you haven't been before, just so that you're able to explore and then just get lost in the city and take pictures and everything. And it's just a good refresher. And if you try to do any of these other points in another city, it's even better, because you don't know what to expect. You're just walking around, you see something, you see an interesting wall, you're like, okay, this is really cool. So one thing that I want to bring up is that I see photography, street photography specifically, as fishing and hunting. So for fishing, it's like you find something like super interesting, like an amazing wall, like the light's perfect and everything, and you're just gonna stay there until you see a subject. a fish, a subject go by, and then you take the picture, right? And then, that's the picture that you wanted to take. Or you do hunting where you are literally going all around the city, and then you see like an interesting wall or whatever, but you basically take a picture as not as fast as possible, but while you're there, like you're not going to stay there like a really long time trying to like take a picture of a specific subject. You're going to go ahead and take a picture of something that you find interesting in that specific location. You don't have to like, wait there or anything, but that's called hunting. So you can also just walk around, set your shutter speed to like 1/300, and you can actually walk around. And even with something that doesn't have stabilization, you can still capture stuff for like really easily because you're at 1/300. It's so much easier. But that is one of the ways that you can go ahead and get your creativity going. I'm only speaking about this from experience because I've done this for a good little while now, and I've come across a whole bunch. Even whenever I've gone like abroad to other countries, I've come to the point to where like us as street photographers, we usually do like, at least from the people that I've noticed that do this like a lot, usually do like 4, 5, 6 hours, even more. Some people do it all overnight, and they take pictures as a street photographer in these places for like really long shifts, right? I call them shifts because I'm just used to work, but you take pictures for a really, really long time, and you end up burning yourself out. So all of these points that I've made are things that I've done before, so that I'm able to refresh myself and get that creativity going. And then once I'm done doing these, then I get back to my normal, like, the type of photography that I usually like, my niche that I usually like to take pictures of. And then from there, I'm able to either add some of those points into my photography or just use it as a refresher. And some of those photos are never released. I never put them on Instagram or anything. I just go ahead and take pictures just to improve myself and basically, trying to get that creativity going again. But I hope these points definitely helped you. If they did, please be sure to leave a like. If you're watching this on Instagram, please be sure to like as well, double tap. And I hope to see a lot of your street photography in the future. But thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.